All right, I think we're live. All right, I'm here with DeAndrea Matthews, and she is with the Detroit Zoological Society. Why don't we just let's start with what your role is.
Sure. So again, DeAndrea Matthews, I am the Vice President of Diversity and Community Engagement for the Detroit Zoological Society, and we operate both the Detroit Zoo and the Belle Nature Center. So I've been in this role, it will be 4 years in January 2025. This was an inaugural role, so it was the first role of its kind at the DZS, which is short for Detroit Zoological Society. And it has allowed me to, again, bring the DZS as a whole so much further than it was when I got here, as far as diversity, equity, inclusion, but specifically around accessibility.
Okay, so you mentioned accessibility. What are some of the other things that you focus on? So one thing I've learned is every company has a different definition for what their DEI role is. And there's not really like a standard out there. It's kind of like we have a person that's the director of DEI or and everybody's got a different idea. So
Definitely.
kind of
Good question.
what does that all cover for you?
Sure. So here at the DZS, diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, what I'm going to refer to as DEIA, is an integral part of our strategic plan. And what that means is it is fully integrated across the institution. So I work with every department here at DZS. So for example, I work with our purchasing department to make sure that we are considering diverse vendors, and we have 6 different categories of what those diverse vendors can look like. I work with our facilities team to make sure that we have accessible walkways. We refresh our yellow contrast painting to assist those with low vision. We have accessible picnic tables on grounds throughout the property in various picnic spaces, making sure that our automatic door openers are working, that if the contrast is faded over time, those get replaced. Um, Doing audits, making sure that our doors don't require more than 5 pounds to open, and simple things like that, things that make a difference to the people who are using it. But again, it takes very intentional actions to make sure that we're staying on top of it, making sure that those things are as they should be in working order and things of that nature. My team does a lot of that work behind the scenes to just, again, make our spaces welcoming and inclusive for everybody who visits. Now, that's just a couple examples. As far as some of the other departments, for example, I work with our development department around grant submissions. So a lot of times they want to know what your diversity efforts are. They may want to know about equity or accessibility. So I provide that information, whatever's required for that grant opportunity. I also work with our marketing team. For example, there is the WCAG, which is the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. There are specific guidelines that we have to follow to make sure that our website is compliant, our app is compliant. So working with our marketing team around that. Um, Human resources, recruitment events. I am now a certified disability recruiter, so helping to assist in making connections with community organizations that will, again, enhance our workforce, but specifically providing volunteer and job opportunities to those from the disability community as well.
Cool. Why don't we dive into some of the partnerships that you have? So why don't we start with I can see around your neck that you have a hidden sunflower lanyard on.
Yeah.
So why don't we start with that partnership and kind of explain what it is?
Sure. So I found out about the Sunflower Hidden Disability Program in 2022. Again, it was really popular in the UK. It had just started gaining some popularity here in the United States. So I jumped on board, and I believe we were the first in Michigan at the DZS to become a participant in the Sunflower program. So what that means for us is we purchase sunflower products and we make the lanyards available to our staff, to our volunteers, and to our guests. For our staff specifically, we can request or order personalized sunflower lanyards. So, for example, I have my personalized badge here. It has my condition on the front. On the back, it has my photo, my emergency contact information, and up to 5 icons to indicate, in case of an emergency, what you should or should not do in those instances. We also provide lanyards to our volunteers so they can write their name and emergency contact information on their badges. And then we provide the lanyards and other products like the wristbands to our guests. So these are provided complimentary to any of our guests, our staff, and our volunteers. And again, it's a discreet way of letting people know that you have a hidden disability, and it assists people in case they need some type of help while they're on grounds and things of that nature. It's a wonderful program that really has allowed us to teach more about hidden disabilities and just enhance what we're able to offer to all of our audiences. So that's just one program. Of
Yeah,
course, also
yeah,
certified with the Culture
we're
City.
Culture City. Yep. So
Yeah,
we're partnered with both Culture City and the Hidden Sunflower program with AbleView. So yeah, if you want to explain Culture City too, that would be great.
sure. So I oversee our Culture City Sensory Inclusive program, which is it includes training. So each year, our staff and volunteers go through training just to refresh our memory and to keep learning more as the industry changes more about what it means to be sensory inclusive. So learning about the 8 sensory categories, learning what ways we can again be more inclusive on our campus. What are things to think about? What are some things to pay attention to? Because maybe they didn't get a sensory bag when they came in, but if you notice that a child is covering their ears and it's something that's bothering, you might want to offer, would you like a pair of noise canceling headphones for your visit? So being able to recognize things like that and offer assistance with Culture City, also making sure that the signage is up to date. I love that Culture City now has bilingual signage. So as we order new signage for our headphone zones, for our quiet areas and things of that nature, we always want to make sure that we're doing it in the languages that they have available. And right now it is English and Spanish. So all of our new signage that we're purchasing is in both languages. And then also making sure that we have the sensory bags available. We have the strobe glasses and weighted lap pads available for our guests. And my team oversees that inventory, making sure that we are purchasing whatever needs to be purchased. We're making it available for things like dream nights, sensory friendly days. And we also are, again, staying on top of it so that it's always available, monitoring usage, monitoring inventory.
What other programs do you guys have or partnerships?
So as far as partnerships, there are 2 community partnerships that I absolutely love that we've connected with. So each year we have an event called Dream Night, and Dream Night is an international zoo event. But this is we host it here at the zoo. Coming up in 2025, it will be Friday, June 6th. But this is a cost-free private evening for families who have children with chronic or terminal illness.
Okay.
So on this evening, everything is absolutely free to those families. So admission to the zoo, carousel rides, train rides, the 4D theater, all of the food and refreshments, all of this is complimentary to those families that evening. We do max out the event at 1,000 participants. So once we hit that 1,000 registrants, we do close out the registration for that event because we want to make sure that it's not overcrowded. Again, a lot of these families have wheelchair users and their families, and we want to make sure they're able to navigate around the zoo, be able to see their favorite animals and enjoy nature without, again, an overcrowded atmosphere. So this is their evening of respite, and we just want it to be as wonderful as possible for them. And as far as those community organizations, this year we were able to partner with A Kid Again. And then for 2025, we are partnering with both A Kid Again and New Day Foundation. And both of their audiences that they serve are those families that we want to be able to invite to our Dream Night event.
Cool. Okay, so let's say I was going to come to the zoo and I wanted to connect with somebody on um, Culture City. How does that work for somebody? Is there a way to connect beforehand, or when they show up at the entrance? Is there, like, hey, we see that you've partnered with Culture City. How can we get connected with that program at the zoo?
Great question. So in addition to our wonderful virtual tours that have been provided by Able Eyes, we do have social narratives for both the Detroit Zoo and the Belle Nature Center. So information in those social narratives includes information about our Culture City program. So they know in advance that Culture City is available and they can get those products, get the sensory bag, and if needed, the strobe glasses and weighted lap pad when they come on campus. So right up front by our main admission gates, is our customer care office, and that's where they can check out the Culture City sensory bag.
Okay, cool. And then as far as just the zoo in general
Mhm.
and Belle Isle, um, why don't you just kind of share a little bit about maybe each one, what what you guys have there, just as far as animals and the acreage, and because I mean, obviously I've been to both of them, and the Detroit Zoo's enormous, and you guys have a lot there. So why don't you just kind of give like a little summary of both properties and what people
Sure.
can see when
So
they.
the Detroit Zoo is 125 acres, and we have over 2,000 animals, multiple different types of species, but lots of animals. Again, whether you're coming to a daytime event and you want to see the lions, the tigers, you want to see the red pandas. We got some baby red pandas. We got a baby gorilla. We've got giraffes. We've got just all types of animals. So whatever your favorite animal is that you want to see, it's very likely that we have something to meet that need here at the Detroit Zoo. At the Belle Nature Center, they have mud puppies, and they have, again, what I refer to as urban wildlife, those things that you would see in the inner city, but also um, they also have different experiences, because what I love about the Belle Nature Center is they have this. It's like walking through a water sewer, and again, it tells you about how things function in the city of Detroit specifically, and a lot of the art, a lot of the graphics that you see around the Belle Nature Center also are seen in the city of Detroit, and that's a wonderful aspect of what they feature, as well as bees. A lot of what they talk about our bees, our pollinated gardens, and things of that nature. So it's a wonderful place to go and just learn more about things you can see in the city or in the urban area.
Do you offer like annual memberships or annual passes where people can come as often as possible, or do you not have some programs like that?
We do. So we do have annual memberships here at the Detroit Zoo. And again, the end of the year is a great time to either purchase one for yourself or to get a gift membership. But we do have those memberships. And again, if you bring, let's say you bring a family of five, for the price that you spend for a family of five for one day at the zoo, you can purchase a membership and come every single day if you want to. So that's just an example of the value of having a membership. But also, the Belle Nature Center is absolutely free. So you can go to the Belle Nature Center absolutely free. And again, we have over 100,000 people that visit the Belle Nature Center every single year, but it's completely free to visit. So again, if you're going to be in the Belle Isle area, if you're going to be in the city of Detroit, it's a great time to visit and learn more about the Nature Center.
How many people come through the gates at the Detroit Zoo annually?
At the Detroit Zoo, we get approximately 1.2 million visitors per year, and not just from Southeast Michigan, but from around the world.
How about we talk about the I would say the closest coming up event, which is you guys do
Mhm.
the Christmas stuff, right? So we'll put this in enable connection in the next week or so. So
Okay,
this would be a good event to talk about, because obviously
wonderful.
that's gonna be live here. If it's not already live, it's gonna be live very soon.
Very soon. You are absolutely right. So every year, the Detroit Zoo offers wild lights, and there are literally millions of lights that create these wonderful scapes that you can, again, just enjoy as a part of our evening event. So Wild Lights actually starts this Saturday, November 23rd, and runs through January. So for the end of November, all of the month of December, and the beginning of January, you can come and enjoy Wild Lights. And what I love, even though I work here and I see it every year, it's different every year. And I love going and just seeing the lights and really getting in the holiday spirit, because it just, warms you up and just, has some great memories for you and for the family.
All right, I gotta ask then, how long does it take staff to put up all the lights? Because it's gotta be a
Oh,
massive, massive undertaking.
absolutely. It is a massive undertaking. They actually start in July to prepare for the launch of Wild Lights in November. So they start putting up all those lights in July. So when you come, even at the end of the summer, you'll see people out there working in the trees, and that's what they're doing. They're preparing for Wild Lights even back then.
Cool. Anything that we didn't cover that you want to touch on before we jump off?
Yes, we were very fortunate this year to get a grant from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services for $25,000. And that allowed us to purchase and install our very first electronic universal changing table. They were
Okay.
previously called adult changing tables, but as we know, it's not just adults that use them. So again, the universal changing tables are available for anyone larger than an infant size to be able to take care of diapering needs. And the wonderful thing about the electronic table is you're able to lower it, raise it, depending on, again, the height of the person that's the caregiver. So we're excited about that because, again, it's just a wonderful addition to our campus. That electronic universal changing table is located at our Coney Corner restroom, which also now has an electronic door that lights up green if it's available for use, lights up red if someone's currently using it. So just some additional features, not only around ADA compliance, because we know that ADA compliance is the basement, but we always want to increase and go higher than that. We're trying to reach the ceiling with accessibility and, again, just making spaces much more inclusive.
How about the future? Do you have plans down for what you're looking at for maybe 25, 26, and maybe the next 5
Absolutely.
years?
Absolutely. So there are some products and some accessibility tools that I'll say we're courting. I won't say a lot because we don't have any contracts in place yet, but we're definitely looking at ways to enhance visual accessibility on campus, as well as auditory accessibility on campus. And then as far as our social narrative, right now, we only have one for the Detroit Zoo and one for the Belle Nature Center. But one of the things we're working on is to make sure that we not only have social narratives for all of our experiences, whether it is the experience trail, whether it is the 4D theater or whatever that looks like, but we also will be making them available in multiple languages. Our goal is to have them available not only in English, but also in Spanish, Arabic, Chinese, and American Sign Language. So that's one of my biggest goals over the next couple of years. So we'll keep you posted as those things come to fruition.
Have you ever heard of 7C lingo?
7C lingo. No.
So, we know the founder. He actually lives here in East Lansing, and it's an app that it's a translation app, but they have I think thousands of languages on it. It might be something to just look at. I haven't dove into it a lot, um, but I don't know if that could possibly be something that's used at the zoo or not. I'm just throwing it out there. Um, to maybe just take a quick look at it because if a language is something that you're looking at as far as having different different languages available, that might be a tool that you can look at. I don't know exactly if it'll fit, but that's something I wanted to throw out.
Okay, thanks for sharing that. I will look into it. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
All right, what's your favorite part of working at the zoo?
I can go see the giraffes at lunch.
Awesome. Well, thanks for jumping on with us today. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for the opportunity.